So, children, we have seen inequality taking place in our country through three different stories. Uh, for the economic status, the first story that we had learned was about Kanta Devi, who was a domestic worker. Okay, when she goes to the hospital and she sees a long line and has to wait to meet the doctor because she is poor, she doesn't have that much of money to go into a private hospital. Okay, then we see the second story on caste system. We have seen how matrimonial columns are projecting caste, and they want that kind of a boy or a girl depending on their caste. And then we see the story of Om Prakash Valmiki, who wrote his story about when he was going to school and how he was treated because he was a Dalit, and he has written this in his book called Jhutan. Okay, and then another story we have seen based inequality based on religion was Mr. and Mrs. Ansari were looking for a rented apartment. Okay, and the broker told him to change their name. And this and another one, that is gender, that we see common in everyday life. We see that the gender is male or female. So we see that the men folk are given more salary than the women folk. They are always, although they do equal hard work, same amount of labor, but yet they are paid less. So these are some of the inequalities that we see in our country. Now, the most important thing is that when we see inequalities, they consider themselves to be unequal. We are considered to be unequal. We are not treated on an equal basis with the others. So, when we are treated unequally, especially on the basis of caste system, religion, gender, economic status, what happens? It hurts our dignity and self-respect. We also deserve the same kind of dignity and self-respect, isn't it? Children, I use the word dignity. That means it refers to thinking of oneself and other persons as worthy of respect. We all want a self respect, we have a self respect. And this is very clearly explained in your textbook. There is a picture. Okay, here you can see this picture is actually from a movie called Diwar, which was released in 1975 and had Amitabh Bachchan as its lead role. And you can see here a boy who's sitting on the pavement and he's polishing shoes, isn't it? So he's a shoe shine boy. Okay, and a rich man comes to polish his shoes, and after he finished doing so, he just throws a coin at him for his labor. Okay, that you have polished my shoes, and throws a coin at him. So at this, the boy stands up and objects to it, and he tells them that there is dignity in my work and I respect my work, and he insists at the person to give his fee to him respectfully. And then we see that gentleman picking up that coin and giving to him. That everyone has some kind, whatever work they do, they must have some kind of respect for their work. It's not that because he has polished his shoes, since he's poor, the money will be thrown to him. So this is what dignity is. That is this recognizing one's respect. We must respect everyone, whatever work they are doing. Okay. So children, we must increase human dignity. When people are treated unequally, their dignity is violated. So it also puts them through mental torture. They feel harassed. Okay. So we must respect everyone for whatever work they are doing. Each work is important. Children, our government is trying ways to implement equality so that everyone is considered equal in our country. Now, let us look into the ways in which the government is trying to implement equality to bring about give equal status to everyone. And the first thing is through laws, making and creating laws which are put up in our constitution. And the second is to have some more government programs and schemes to bring about equality in our country. Okay, now let us first see what are the laws that they have made in our constitution to bring about equality. Children, let us understand what a constitution is. Okay, it is a document that lays down the rules and regulations for the people and the government in the country to follow. So because everyone has to follow these rules. Now, what are the rules? As I told you, that the government is trying to implement things, ways in which to bring about equality in a country and through laws. Now, which are the laws written in our constitution to bring about equality? Now, we'll see according to the constitution, every person, right from the president of the country to a domestic worker, has to obey the laws. Okay, if they're found not obeying the laws, they'll be put to jail. Okay, so this is must in our country to bring about equality, and no person is discriminated against the basis of their religion, race, caste, gender. Okay, wherever you go, do they ask you your religion, race, caste, or gender? No, you're free to go anywhere for shopping, for movies, schools. Nobody asks your caste or religion. Okay, and every person has access to all public places. You can go anywhere freely and enjoy yourself, whether it's a playground, hotel, shops, markets, okay? And the government has made untouchability has been abolished. What is untouchability? It means distinction between low caste, they were treated like blacks, okay? And were made to stay separately, not enter temples. So anyone who's seen to practice untouchability will be punished by law. Okay, it has been abolished. So these are the things written in our constitution to bring about equality. Okay, so the first thing we are satisfied, the ways in which, so you see this is our parliament where the laws are made. You can see everyone, all our representatives of the parliament are shown in this picture who make laws for our country. Children, now let us look into the another way in which government tries to implement equality is through government programs and schemes. Let us see some of the schemes here. We can see Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana, Rural Youth Upliftment Program, and Midday Meal. This is one of the very successful programs to bring about equality in our country. Okay, why is this done? These programs are done. This is to improve the lives of communities and individuals who have been treated unequally for several centuries, especially the Dalits, the scheduled castes, and scheduled tribes, so that they get greater opportunity and who have not got this in the past, so that they also come up with the rest of the general public and be treated equally. Okay, so these schemes have been brought out by the government. Now we look into one of the very famous um, program that has brought about equality is the midday meal program. Children, as I told you, the most successful government scheme and program to bring about equality was the midday meals. Okay. Now, what is this program? It is a program which is introduced in all government elementary schools to provide children with cooked lunch. Okay, and this midday meal scheme was started in Tamil Nadu, and then the government announced that it should be done in all government elementary schools all over the country. Okay, so in 2001, the government asked all the states to provide introduce midday meals and provide cooked lunch to the children. Okay, so now let us see what were the benefits. How did it bring about equality? So we see here many poor children who began now uh, enrolling themselves, getting them admitted in schools, and were regularly attending schools because they got their meals there. And mothers who had to interrupt their work to feed their children during the day no longer had to do that because they was assured that their children will get food in school. And it also helped to reduce the caste prejudice, the distinction between upper and lower class, because the children would sit together and eat their meals together. The other benefits we can see, it reduced the hunger of the poor students so that they could concentrate more because now their stomachs are full, they could concentrate on the studies. And earlier we see children during the break, they would go home and they would never return to school. But now since they got lunch in school, the attendance also improved. Okay, so through visuals, let us see what we are seeing here. The benefits we see attendance has improved and a lot of children attending school. Then we see here that since schools are there, the mothers are happy that they don't have to take care and make their lunch. They can do their own work. Then we see here they stayed in school throughout the day. Okay, we can see here Caste prejudice also reduced because poor kid and the upper caste kid are eating together. And even we see that Dalit women now who got employment in these schools to make food for the children. So it also again helped to reduce caste distinction between high caste and low caste. So this scheme was very, very popular and has brought about equality to a certain extent among children. Okay. Another very famous scheme started by the government was Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya in 2004, where we see the girl children were given an opportunity to study, and they were all studying together as girls from high class and low caste. This is also one of the very successful schemes to bring about equality in our country. So, children, we have seen the ways in which government tried to implement equality. It was through laws and through government programs and schemes.